No, it does not, Shard. No, it doesn't. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of sum these up. This is a hidden stockpile list. This is a token deck. 4 Renegade maps as well in the 5-0 list. Eat your heart out, people. Once again, this kind of stuff we're just not going to get. I don't think this deck works without hidden stockpile. Anointed Procession, hidden stockpile. Sunscourge Champion's an interesting card, though. It's an interesting one-of to play. Oh my god, do you guys not know how to Google anything? It's on a different computer, so it's actually hard for me just to post links. This came out yesterday, March 5th. This is a cycling deck. Drakehaven. Pretty sweet. Renewed Faith. I think Ninja was talking some trash about Renewed Faith. This is a 4-of in the Drakehaven deck. Keep in mind, mono red is still a very, very large, nasty thing. So gaining just a couple life to keep you above water is pretty good. This is a weird deck. It's a go wide deck. Oh, it's a monument deck. And Vonnegut is Amonkhet, so we will get Amonkhet. So this deck is almost possible, but it does do the 4 aviary mechanic jam, which we won't be able to do. Also has Angel of Invention, which is a good card. And Cloudblazer. 4 Legion Conquistadors, notably. Yeah, I mean, we're missing a lot of cards here, but it's not impossible to scrap together a monument deck. 1 Immortal Sun. Baffling End, Binding, Legion's Landing. Why would it be canceled, Beast? You know something I don't know? Anyway, interesting deck. As I said, this 5-0 deck list is pretty sweet. There's really a good variety. And here you go, Ninjo. Green-red monsters. It's got all the goodies. 2 Pianalar. 2 Blossoming Defense. That's about all we're missing from this list. So, yes, this deck list will be good, folks. I don't know what else to say. Eating my words a little bit here because the last 5-0 deck list didn't have any of these, but they're up here now. 26 creatures. Struggled to survive. This is a shout out to Scarab God. You kill it and then you shuffle it away. Oh. Are you guys reading tweets? Here's an interesting deck. Sandworm Convergence. This is a ramp deck. Our Promise, Masterminds Acquisition. So since they're playing two masterminds, you have to look at the sideboard. You get Scarab Gods, Nezahals, Approach, Star of Extinction, Wildest Dreams, which is super sweet. Zakama. Couple Carnage Tower main deck. Doomfall is a sweet card. Did you review black already, Ninja? I can't remember if you did black. But Doomfall is pretty sweet. Target opponent exiles a creature he or she controls. Scarab God, folks. Target opponent reveals his or her hand, and you can choose a non-land card from it and exile it. Doomfall is pretty sweet. It can deal with some bad boys. Oh my god. And shout out to Double Thematic Compass. Compass shows up a few times in these lists. And they're playing Hour of Promise, so of course they're playing a bunch of deserts and stuff. But this is just basically a desert ramp deck. Ending in Makimo. But it's main decking Carnage Tyrant, so it has like it's. You don't have to get a Mastermind's acquisition necessarily. And it also has the sweet combo between Wildest Dreams and Mastermind's acquisition. Oh, you haven't done Hour yet. Right, you're still on Amonkhet. That makes sense. Sweet deck if you like ramp. Moving on. This is a God Pharaoh's Gift deck. And it's got all the good stuff that you'd want. Notably, 4 Seeker Squire. I think Explorer is just that good, folks. I think Explorer is just that good. And 4 Ballistas, too, which seems a little bit weird. But I guess when you use God Pharaoh's Gift, it comes back as a 4/4. So then it's just a 4/4 that you can pump. That's actually a pretty sweet interaction. I'm happy God Pharaoh's Gift is still around. Only 1 Choop, notice. This is really about hitting their hand. Hostage Taker's good. Yeah, there's really almost no removal in this deck. Trophy Mage to find your gates to the afterlife. Yeah, Explorer works well with all that. That's a good point. Explorer is great at dumping things in the graveyard, and we'll finally have a use for him. Yeah. Here's a little weird take on red-green monsters. This is different. I guess this is Grixis. This is Grixis Energy, which looks a lot like red-green monsters, except you get Scarab God. And this guy's playing Channeler Initiate. He really wants to ramp. He's playing the Hydras because he's doing energy. These Grixis decks are for real, folks. So, yeah. Grixis list, Channeler Initiate being interesting. Combat Celebrant. Did you review this one, Ninja? This is a 4 of. If Combat Celebrant, I don't even get this first line of text. I read this yesterday. If Combat Celebrant hasn't been exerted this turn, you may exert it as it attacks. Which is pretty much, I thought, what exert was. But clearly someone tried to break it. So they had to write it this way, as opposed to just giving the creature exert. Well, it's a confusing card. What time is it? Yeah, we got half an hour, so we might get through those 5-0 deck lists. I probably won't be able to put up any of my own deck lists. We'll do that tomorrow. Well, we did one, but we'll do the good ones tomorrow. Minister of Inquiries, Trophy Mage. This is also God Pharaoh's Gift. So when you exert this guy, you untap all other creatures you control after this phase, and there is an additional combat phase. It's pretty badass. Pretty badass. And it works well with God Pharaoh's Gift because God Pharaoh's Gift triggers at the beginning of your combat. So it's basically giving you 2 God Pharaoh's triggers. Or, what if you just chain them? You get one with God Pharaoh's Gift, you get an extra attack phase, you get another, you get an extra attack, you get like 4 attack phases. There you go, Shard. I knew there was a reason. So we're not getting infinite attack phases, but boy, we're getting a lot of attack phases with this guy. Like, I think ideally you would probably never cast this card. This card goes straight to the graveyard to get out of the graveyard. But maybe you cast it. Vizier of Many Faces. You can copy some of these cards. I think this is a super fun God Pharaoh's Gift deck list. Also, perhaps my favorite card in all the duels. Cathartic Reunion. Very powerful. This guy's getting down to business fast with the 4 Ministers and the 4 Cathartics. I know Ninja said a long time ago that Refurbish wasn't there, and I thought GPG was dead, but not having Bowmaker here, of course, sucks, but we'll have all the rest of these, right? Oh, we won't have Minister either, or Trophy Mage. I don't know, this is a fun list. I've never seen a GPG list like this. This is my deck of the day, though. 4X Azor's Gateway to go with 4X Approach. You know I like Gateway, folks. Now, missing 4 Chandras is probably a problem because clearly Chandra must be doing a lot of work for this deck since the dude included 4. But I might find a workaround. So this is basically red-white approach. You got 1 Fumigate. You know, missing 1 card's not terrible. 1 Renewed Faith. Shout out to Ninja again. 1 main deck Silent Gravestone. What? A Compass. 4 Cast Out over Ixalan's Binding, which is interesting. I guess he wants to get his cycle on. And 1 Sunbirds. This deck looks amazing to me. I'm in. Like, you don't have to ramp if you have Gateway, right? Gateway gives you plenty of mana to cast your approaches. You could probably cast 2 in the same turn with a Gateway flipped. A small sample of what? What do you mean? This is all of competitive standard on MTGO in the month. Are you saying there's a lot of good 4-1 deck lists that we're not seeing? Maybe. But if they're good enough, they should have hit 5-0 at some point. I don't know what you mean by that, Shard. Here is our... This is just a Vamp deck. It's got the 4 Mimics, the 4 Legions. They did go with a couple of Sky Marchers. I guess they just wanted a few more 1-drops. We can pretty much build this deck right now, except you don't have the Mimics. So they have 4 Radiant Destiny, 4 Mimics, and 4 Legion Lieutenant. That's a lot of Anthems. I still only have 1 Legion's Landing. What garbage is that? Then again, I started buying Ixalan packs, as you guys know if you've been in my Discord. Sadly, it did not quite work out the way I wanted it to. I've been playing a Vamp deck. It's been pretty fun. And it has been pretty fast as well. I have 3 Radiant Destinies, so spoiler alert, since we're not going to do the deck tech, I'm running 3 Radiant Destinies, 1 Vanquisher's Banner, and 1 Immortal Sun. As well as 4 of the Lieutenants. So I have a lot of Anthem effects too. We finally made it to a red deck wins here. This is kind of a bigger version. We got the Phoenix, 2 Glory Bringers, 4 PNLRs, 4 Direfleet Daredevil, 4 Chandras. So this is more of a mid-range red deck wins. Probably matches up very well against other red deck wins, against the smaller versions. But, boy, Chandra's a sweet card. People know it. So, I don't know what you replace it with. Maybe another Hazaret? I don't know. Here's a good deck list. Check out this card. 1 main deck Pervert. 4 Growing Rights of Itlamok.
Oh boy!
Say, huh? 1 Path of Discovery. 3 Ajani's. This is just a weird ramp. Explore. Once again, people, you don't need Seeker Squire to play Wild Growth Walker when you got 4 Jade Lights and 4 Branch Walker. 4 SRAM's Expertise. This is a strange go wide strat. Oh my god, SRAM's Expertise into Jade Light Ranger though? Oh, that seems sweet. Anyways, this is a cool... I don't know what his deal is here with this deck, to tell you the truth. I guess the idea is you flip your Growing Rights and then you just make big-ass ballistas. And the SRAM's Expertise really helps you get a lot of work out of Growing Rights. I would not have expected this in the 5-0 deck list, I'll tell you that. Profit. That's true. That's true. You get 3. He's only got 1, though. He knows it's sketchy, but he's got 4 Growing Rights of Itlamok. Or she. Chris with Hack. Could be a she. Anyway, super interesting deck list. Now this is the more traditional red deck, low to the ground, on Crop Crasher, Bowmat Courier. Nothing to be said here. I'm sure a lot of people are playing this deck. Alright, Shard is pushing his small sample. Yeah, I agree. Or just knowing the meta, you know? Like maybe this matches up super great against Red Deck Wins, because I still think Red Deck Wins is probably the most common deck in the meta. It's probably cheap to make. Here's an interesting one. This is red-black. Rocking Dund Operatives. And 4 Heart of Kirin. I feel like any of the red decks that splash for black also splash for Heart of Kirin. Weldfast Engineers. Scroungers. Cut to Ribbons. Disintegration. A lot of goodies from duels here. Probably matches up once again against Red Deck Wins pretty well because it's just a little bigger. And you get some of the recursion and you get the Heart of Kirin. Or maybe this is just what a vehicle deck is nowadays. And check this one out, folks. Merfolk. What? 4 Deep Root Waters. Only 3 Deep Root Elites. But most importantly, I think 3 Blossoming Defense, which you are not going to get. They were playing 1 Path of Discovery here at Injo in the Growing Rights deck. But they were pairing it with SRAM's Expertise, which is redonk. And has actually just given me plenty of ideas. I don't know what kind of token makers we have in Arena right now. Not too much. Anyway, Merfolk, I'm pretty sure you guys can make this right now, except for the Blossoming Defense. You can replace it with 3 Dive Down. Yeah, Dive Deep is not correct. Dive Down is correct. 2 Seafloor Oracles. I mean, this is pretty straightforward, folks. I guess the main difference is there's only 4 1-drops from what a lot of people are playing right now. And these Spell Pierces. Whenever I get Spell Pierce, I get pissed. No one's supposed to be playing Spell Pierce. Jungleborn Pioneer, for that matter, goes well with Path of Discovery. But how many are you going to run? Okay, and now we get to see a few of these, like lower to the ground. Like this is a weird one. Servo Expedition Exhibition. This is like topping out at Jadelight Ranger. This is a green-white kind of go wide strategy. This is a very strange deck. Once again, pretty safe against red deck wins. Adorned Pouncer. I guess that's kind of your top end. One a Ketra. Well, I mean, I don't think there's anything more aggressive than red deck wins. I think we have a more mid-rangey meta, to tell you the truth. Like, I think a lot of these decks might not hold up against dinos because dinos just get too big. I like Servo Expedition. Come on. I'm in. Appeal to authorities. 4 appeal to authorities is actually significant here. Until end of turn, target creature gains trample and +X/+X, where X is the number of creatures you control. So you play this on your Adorned Pouncer, you get a double strike trampler that has plus a gazillion and win. Like, that seems to be the major win con here. And he's got 4 of each, so it's definitely possible. Here's our friend Dusk Legion Zealot. This is kind of the Jack Kiefer version, but without the crested Sunmares and rocking 2 Champion of Dusk, which is interesting because I did like this card before, and I don't have it in my deck now. I think I'm going to throw this in. Same idea. You use a bunch of Anthem effects, and then you're rocking all 8 of the sorceries. Down to 3 Martyr of Dusk. This is very interesting. So I made a Vamp deck to be kind of like this. I tried to copy Jack Kiefer's list, but no Sunmare. And I played 24 lands, and the first 3 games I played, I got flooded out. 9 lands in the first 15 cards. So you know what I did? I freaking cut the lands to 20, and I was running just fine. F you, Arena Shuffler. F you in the A. I don't know. Like, you should be running 24 lands in this kind of deck, but it seems like in Arena, I can get away with 20. I really like this list because I can make it. Except for the Fatal Pushes. But I just put in Baffling Ends whenever they have Fatal Push. And it does almost the same. I'm still short on Legion's Landing. I might just buy a Legion's Landing. I don't know, man. I don't know about that. The Arena system. You guys should all check that out. If you do play Arena and you have not seen that post, I'm sure someone can link it in chat. But it talks about how they shuffle for best of 1 games. And though the post is 1,000,000 pages long, it's worth it just reading the original post by the dev. Shard has put in a lot of work into that post and doing the Maz. That was my question for you, Shard. In Europe or where you're from, do they really call it Maz with an S? Because I never, like, I only say that because, like, I'm on the internet and people say Maz on the internet and stuff. But I say, I have 1 Legion's Landing and 3 Radiant Destinies. But I also have 1 Vanquisher's Banner and 1 Immortal Sun. So I'm pretty much running those 2. I'm also running 2 Profane Processions main deck. So my deck's a little different. But Profane Procession is good. Good stuff. This is another GPG deck. This is using Charted Course and Refurbish. This is kind of the old method, I guess, compared to the weird decks we saw earlier. That's just weird to me. Maz. I do the math, or I have a bunch of math to do. I don't do the Maz. strange to me. Like, what's a single math? If you're saying maths. Like, one equation is a single math? I don't know. Like, you never just do one thing in math. You have A, but then you add B to it or something, so it's always going to be maths. So then what's the point of even math as a word? I don't get it. This is a super kind of planeswalker version of... This is Naya. I guess they're just splashing white for one Ajani, so they just do that off the servant. This is a go big version monsters. I agree, Ninja. I agree. But all you need is one Radiant Destiny to give it vigilance. And you know what? There's still... I was playing still a lot of other creatures, and drawing a card is great. In fact, Vanquisher's Banner is probably going to be the card of the day tomorrow, because we do need to talk about it. Because it is in a weird place right now. And here's Bant Approach. Three Compass. Pretty sweet. 3 Settle. 3 Fumigate. Sucks. Our Poemer, Spring to Mind, which is going to be a sweet card, which is pretty much the reason to go Bant here. That and the fact that you could put Carney Tyrant in the sideboard. I guess Our Promise. They're kind of one and the same. You kind of want to run both. So this is an approach very ramp-oriented. The Bant ones are ramp-oriented. And you got a lot of deserts doing a lot of work for you. 3 Compass, very notable. Oh, and here we go, folks. Did you think we were going to make it without a Naya Dinosaur deck? Look at these cards. I have all these cards. I do not have these cards, though. Or this one. 4 Thunderherds. 2 Treasure Maps. Sandworm Conversions. Double Sunbirds. Whoo! This is go big. Oh, that was you, Malcolm? Okay, yeah. So, funny story. Or do you go by Maui 666 on YouTube? But yeah, there were 2 times. You do. Okay, yeah. So I am also sorry, Malcolm. Because you did take forever that turn, I felt like you were roping me with the Sanguine Sacrament deck, so I roped you back a little bit. And then I realized like that 3 hours earlier you had subscribed to my YouTube channel. So I felt super terrible. But if you've been in my stream, you know I'll throw out a rope pretty quick on someone who I think is slow playing. So I'm glad we got it sorted out, and I'm glad I found out who that was. So thank you again for the subscription. Thanks for showing up in Twitch as always. And sorry that we kind of had that clash there, because when I feel like I'm getting roped by a Sanguine Sacrament deck, it's the gauntlets are off, man. Anyway, yeah, Covert. What up?
Yeah.
This is all ours, so we could play it. Now we got Fumigate here. We got 3 Fumigates. So, yeah. Yeah. Are you talking about the... I guess I got mistaken. You're talking about this giant dino deck. Yep, pretty sweet. I just didn't know why you were talking about a non-control deck. Couldn't figure it out. I mean, I guess, you know, if you're playing 3s of commas, you can always call yourself control. I like the 1 ranging raptors, though. Huh? Like, how do you get to one ranging raptor? LiDAR. That's a good name. This guy's doing kind of the same thing we saw before. The green-white, appeal to authority, Adorned Pouncer. This one's also running Pride of the Conquerors, which was in, the Sam Black deck. Did you guys see Sam Black's answer to that? I know you've been running dinos. I actually missed your stream yesterday, but you definitely have data on red-green dinos. I choose to ignore it. The interview for Sam Black was hilarious, and watching the commentators respond to it was awesome. So the question was, like, why in his token deck did he choose Radiant Destiny over Pride of Conquerors? Radiant Destiny gives... Well, you guys know what Radiant Destiny is. Yeah, and his response was, Radiant Destiny gives you +1/+1 for the rest of the game. Pride of Conquerors gives you +2/+2 for the rest of the game. And the commentators, like, took a second and then just started cracking up. That was funny. Point being, you pretty much cast this when you win. Snubhorn still just sticking around. People are starting to think more and more about Snubhorn, so interesting. What do we got here? A black-red deck. Black-red. Got some Aethersphere Harvesters. Got some really good Planeswalkers. Got our card of the day, Dusk Legion Zealot, Glint Sleeve, Glorybringer. Black-red monsters. For some reason, the black-red decks seem to be going with more vehicles than the red-green. Red-green. I know, Malcolm. Yeah, no, there's a couple black-red decks, and they're interesting. And most of them are not pirate-based. I still like Doomfall. I think this card is cool. I'm going to play with this card a lot. 4x for Vraska's Contempt, so... Yeah, this is an interesting style deck. It's a little planeswalkery. But we do get Liliana's Death Majesty, which is rad. I love this card. This guy's name is Strumpf. Wow. Mono red splashing blue for Virtuoso. And Charticores and Confiscation Good. Does this have any black in it? Red blue energy. I guess we could call it. Sure. Sure, red blue energy. Why not? How are we doing on time? Ah! How many more deck lists do we have? Ah! Mono black hype, folks. I'm just going to blaze through these. You guys can find it out yourself. Mono black hype, though. Bone Pickers. Night Market Lookout. Ruin Raiders. 2 Walk the Plank. 3 Supernatural Stamina. Right. A weird Anointed Procession Master Trinketeer deck. Making a bunch of servos. Also Pride of the Conquerors for the win. Shout out to Nighthawk. Vampire Nighthawk. Turns out he's been grinding on MTGO. This is a cartouche deck. Curious Obsession. Most notably, this deck is playing Slippery Scoundrel, folks. Which, once it has hexproof and can't be blocked, seems like jamming a bunch of cartouches on it is a good plan. Just gotta watch out for Settle the Wreckage. Here's another red-black deck. Oh, nope. This is Grixis. This is Grixis Energy. Just playing all the good stuff. And they think 2 Direfleet Daredevils is the good stuff. 1 search. This is just 1 commit he's at. Grixis Energy. Here's our Hadana's Climb Sultai deck. Constrictor Climb deck. Got one of those in there. This is really the Sam Black deck. Probably almost card for card. You got the Scroungers, you got the Couriers, but you're still mono white. Pummeler deck made it in there. Also rocking Climb with Pummeler. And a bunch of energy. 4 larger than lives. 4 Blossoming Defense. This is... I guess this is the blue-black mid-range deck. We saw some of that. Here's the blue-black full control deck. Just the 3 Gear Hulks and the 2 Scarab Gods. But for some reason they're playing red too. I guess this is Grixis control. Here's another Constrictor deck. Not running Climb. This is like Explore Constrictor. Seems fine. Mono red. This one runs 2 Key to the City though, by the way. What's up with that? This is the blue-black Metallurgic Summonings. This is the blue-black full control deck. Here is a straight vehicle deck. Dwarven vehicle deck. I don't think there's anything new in this deck. This is the same deck they ran like 2 Pro Tours ago. And that's it. So quite a variety in the 5-0 list. I'm really impressed. A couple of super fun decks to try out. A couple of decks we'll be really close to in Arena. Some are almost buildable now in Arena. Some will be buildable when we get Hour and Amonkhet. That's it, guys. Sorry I didn't make it to the other deck techs. We'll do that tomorrow. Yeah, enjoy yourselves. I don't know. I really got to run. I was late yesterday. I'm not going to be late today. Thanks for coming out. Hope you enjoyed the stream. Thanks for putting up with the talk show. Good luck in your arena gaming or whatever else gaming you're doing today. Peace.